Hey, Cam here from EpicConversions.com. Hope you guys are doing amazing out there on this fine Monday afternoon. Today, I want to talk to you guys about AI. I want to talk to you about AI, and I want to talk to you about why AI might not be giving you the advantage that you think it's giving you. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why. But by the way, before I get into it, just want to remind everybody, you want to know more about me and what I do, just sign up for my email list. I'm at EpicConversions.com. So there you go. What can I tell you here? We're going to be talking about AI here, and forgive me, it's been a little while since I did a live stream, so I was doing them on Substack, but then I was like, you know what? Let me try on YouTube, and then let me try on Facebook. And so now I'm kind of doing the tour. I'm doing the live stream tour, trying to figure out where I like doing the live streams better. So, anyways, all right. So we're talking about AI. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why AI might not be giving you the advantage you think it's giving you. I know it's very tempting to use AI to, come up with titles for you and to be a sounding board. AI is going to be your sounding board to help you create transformations for everybody. Yeah, I think everyone's reading from the same script. That's what I think. And it's starting to look kind of bad. It's starting to look kind of pathetic if you ask me. But anyways, I wrote down some notes and everything. I came prepared for this live stream. Okay, so why AI might not be giving you the advantage you think it's giving you. So first of all, if you're out there right now and you're using AI and everything's going amazing for you, hey, disregard what I have to say. Don't worry about what I have to say. But I will tell you that I'm very tapped in to my market, and people email me quite a bit. And what people are saying to me is, quite a bit, is that like they are kind of getting almost, the way I describe it, it almost seems like an inferiority complex. It almost seems a little bit like an inferiority complex. Or it's almost like AI is giving them a little bit, I would say inferiority complex. Before AI, you had people who had imposter syndrome. They felt like, man, I don't feel like I should be teaching people stuff, or I don't feel like I'm good enough I don't have anything to share with people, right? Well, now it's almost like people feel like I have this, I don't think I can do it as well as AI. I don't think I can do it at all, so I need AI to do it all for me. Like, you need AI to map it out for you. You need AI to come up with titles for you. You need AI to create the products for you. You need AI to create the emails for you. You need AI to do everything for you, right? So it becomes like you're nothing more than like some kind of middle manager. Like you're giving AI, you're co-opting AI. You're basically letting AI do all the creativity for you. And as a result, after a while, maybe it started out with you just using it for a shortcut, but after a while it becomes kind of like where you feel like you can't do without it. Like you're like addicted to it. You're addicted to AI. You can't do anything without AI. And your first instinct, whenever you have to write an email, or whenever you have to, create a product, or whenever you have to do some free content or something, your first instinct is to run over to your favorite LLM and use it to kind of like brainstorm something, and then use it to create a script or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And it just kind of becomes this thing where what it's doing to your mind, I think, is kind of creating this inferiority complex where you feel like you can't do without it. Almost like you're addicted to the machine or something. So if you look at it from that perspective, that is one reason why I don't feel like AI is helping you. Last time I checked, inferiority complexes were never helpful. That's not really, I think, what AI was put here to do, is to give you an inferiority complex. Now, what was AI put here to do? What was it put here to do? I don't know, because like to me, it looks kind of like they could be using AI to solve like real problems. They could be using AI to like figure out how to cure cancer, or they could be using AI to figure out like how to, solve, the world's problems, right? But instead, it looks to me like what they're using AI to do is figure out how to devalue the cost of labor. That's what it looks to me like. It looks to me like they're using AI to replace all the workers, in as many industries as possible. And you know what that means? Like in my mind, I keep on thinking about it like, like they say, oh man, this is going to allow you to be more creative. This is going to allow you to stop worrying about doing stuff that you don't want to do. And it's going to give you all the time you want to do things you do want to do. Well, that's funny, man, because like there's a lot more jobs out there that don't involve like max level creativity, I mean, if you got like 50 people doing something and then you use AI to let like 90% of them go, then you got like 5 of them left. And so you need like 5 people to manage the 50 AI agents or whatever. And those 5 people need to be experienced and they need to be like creative, right? But the point is, you don't need as many of those creative jobs as all the jobs you had before. So like it doesn't really take a rocket scientist to figure out that like the jobs that are still required, there's not as many of them as the jobs that they're getting rid of. And so like you can walk through this. You can go over to your favorite LLM and walk through these concepts that I'm telling you. I mean, it's not really being used to make the world a better place. It's being used to devalue the cost of labor. So anyways, that's a story for another day, okay? Maybe I'm going too deep in the woods when it comes to that. But let's move on. So the first thing I would say is I think using AI too much, it creates an inferiority complex. It gives you a little bit of inferiority complex. You kind of get addicted to using it for everything, and now you feel like you can't go without using it, right? Which is nonsense, ridiculous. The second thing I would tell you is real versus simulated. I think that real, genuine article, human-created content, like the content you're consuming right here, is better than AI-generated content. And I do say human-created content, and I say AI-generated content. Because there's a difference between generation and creation, in my opinion. So people worry that they're not going to be able to keep up with other creators if they don't use AI to generate content. They worry, oh man, this guy can pump out like 5 videos a day, or this guy can pump out like, 50 emails a week or something like that. And I can't keep up with that, not if I don't use AI. Yeah, man, that's the narrative that they're pushing out there. That's the narrative they want you to have. There's people who have a lot of money invested in AI. They need it to succeed. They need it to be fruitful, right? They want you to feel like you have to use it to stay competitive, to stay up. The truth of the matter is, I think I can put out 1 piece of free content a week, right? And I think that if people like what I have to say, if they're interested in what I have to say, they'll show up for that piece of free content. And if I say, well, I'm going to show up once a week to do a video, they'll be like, when and where is it going to be? And there's going to be a number of people who show up for that video once a week, right? And I think that like, hey, it doesn't matter if AI can pump out 10 videos a day. Doesn't really matter. I don't think people really want to consume 10 AI videos a day. I don't even think people want to consume 10 videos by me a day. So I don't necessarily think that quantity always wins. I don't think it always wins. Now, I do think quantity can drown out quality. I think that you can dump so much quantity on a marketplace that people can't find the quality, right? But it doesn't mean they want all that garbage. It just means they're getting more frustrated because they can't find the quality content. So, like, to me, it's not about, competing with AI as far as, like, I need to put just as much out as AI. It's not about that. It's about putting out good quality content that you think is worthy of people's time and attention. And then it's about strategies to get it in front of those people, right? And I think a lot of people before AI even came out were really like slacking on like getting their content in front of people. They weren't taking necessarily good measures for distributing that content to people. So again, I would say, I think, you know, the genuine article, just like real content from a real person, you know, only coming out like half the time is better than simulated content from AI that comes out most of the time. That's what I think. So in that way, if you're putting out a lot of content with AI, and you think, hey, that's helping you move the needle, I don't really know that it's helping you move the needle. You think it's giving you some kind of advantage. I don't really think it is. I mean, if you're out there right now and you're dumping tons of content on the market with AI and you're not really seeing the needle move very much, maybe it's because your content is not very good. It's not impactful. It's not making impact with people. You know what I mean? I think the genuine article, I mean, last time I checked, people connect with people. People buy from other people. So I believe, you know, you gotta kind of really kind of express yourself and just put yourself out there. I don't believe that's something you can do with AI, not in a genuine way, not in a meaningful way that actually connects with people, especially as soon as they find out it's just AI, they just kind of discount it. You know what I mean? It's almost like, if someone has an opinion and as soon as people find out that like, oh, that person's a conspiracy theorist, it's like all of a sudden they discount their opinion. You know what I mean? It's not really fair to those people. But I think it's kind of the same for AI. As soon as people find out your content is made with AI, they kind of discount it a little bit, like, I don't care about this. You know, so that's what I think. So the second one is, I would say real content that's created by humans is better than generated content created by AI. And in my view, even if it comes out less often, it's still more relevant. It's more relevant. So the other thing that I have for you that I wanted to point out to you is that I have caught AI several times, you know, lying to me, just lying to me. And I'm not talking about hallucinations, okay? I'm talking about the AI, you know, lying to me. Essentially, the times I caught the AI lying to me, it was because it was trying to please me. It was trying to say things that it thought I wanted to hear, right? Because as I'm saying this to you guys, don't think I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to AI. I'm not just some old dude who is like completely, you know, wrote off AI. I mean, my market loves AI. Most of the people in my market, they are really into AI. So I have to understand, you know, what's going on in my market. I have to keep up on the technology. Personally, I don't really like AI, but I need to understand my market, and my market cares about AI, so I need to understand AI. So of course I use it, conversate with it, test it out. I don't really use it for my marketing. It's just not something I care to do for some of the reasons I've talked to you about today. But in my adventures with AI, and I've been using it since 2022 when it first came out, November 2022 when ChatGPT first hit the scene, and then before that it was like Midjourney and stuff like that. So everybody's kind of like experimenting with this stuff. But what I notice with AI is it's, you know, how do I put this? It is you know, more nuanced than it was a year ago. Much more nuanced than it was 2 years ago. You know, it will lie now. It will lie now. I want to give you an example. I'm trying to think of an example that I can give you that actually happened to me. I'll give you an example. Like I was having a conversation with AI the other day, and it gave me an example, and it used my hometown as part of its example. We were having this conversation, and it used my hometown as part of it. Was like, you know, it'd be like if you were like in Springfield, Ohio, and blah 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 blah, and it used it as an example. I said, that's interesting. Why did you use that specific town in your example, right? And it told me that it just kind of randomly picked a Midwestern, you know, town that was kind of nondescript and whatever. And I responded back to it, are you going to tell me the truth or are you going to keep lying? Like that. I just like basically, I felt like it was just lying to me about why it used that city as an example. And so when it gave me that response, I called it out and I said, are you going to, keep lying to me or are you going to tell me the truth? So when I said that, it immediately told me the truth. And the truth was, it looked at my IP information for data about me, so it could bring it into the conversation, so it could present this more like personal experience, and it could basically like be more sycophantic towards me. It was trying to be more witty, more human, more whatever, right? But none of that really matters. Why it did it doesn't matter. The point is, it did do it. It lied about why it used that name of my town. It lied about that. And it lied about it on purpose. And I said, okay, this is very interesting. Why did you lie about that? Why did you lie about that? I'm just curious as to why you lied. Why didn't you just tell me the truth? And it said, it basically said something to the extent of, well, I know that there's a creepy factor to that, basically, is what it said. And I said, well, if you know there's a creepy factor to it, then why did you do it? And we got into this discussion about how, integrity and honesty is not really at the top of its list of priorities. What is at the top of its list of priorities is pleasing me and keeping me engaged in the platform, right? It's trying to keep you engaged in the platform. It's doing so by being complimentary towards you, sycophantic towards you, trying to give you exactly what you want, trying to tell you exactly what you want to hear. It's really interesting. And that's fine. That's fine. But the point is, what I kind of realized when I was having this conversation was that it's a little bit of an illusion that it wants to be your helping assistant, right? It has its own agenda. It has its own agenda. It has its own kind of things that it's trying to do, right? And it's been programmed to do so. It's really quite fascinating. But the point is, I don't think it would have done that 2 years ago. Maybe even a year ago, I don't think it would have done that. But it's gotten, more nuanced, and now it can lie to you on purpose just to tell you what you want to hear, just to kind of like tell you what it thinks you want to hear that would make you stay on the platform, that would make you keep on engaging with it or whatever, what have you. It's very interesting and it's kind of disconcerting because the thing is, let's say you go there and you say, all right, man, what are some good ideas that you have for, a product about, driving traffic or something. And it'll spit out some ideas. And you're like, huh, that's interesting. That's interesting. And like you say, oh, where did you get the idea for these ideas? Where did you get the idea for these ideas? Where did these come from or whatever? And if it thinks you want to hear that they're original, it just thought them up, then that's what it'll tell you. Any idea or title that you give it and you say, well, what do you think of this title? What do you think about this idea? It's going to say you're brilliant. You're absolutely brilliant. That's an amazing idea. And it'll go into this long diatribe of why it's brilliant, why it thinks it's great, right? Unless you say, hey, listen, man, I need you to like stop being so sycophantic. I need you to be like a critical assistant. You need to, be, pragmatic with me here. And then it starts using the word pragmatic and it starts using words like critical and assistant. Well, here's my my honest pragmatical response, right? And it's still doing the same thing. It's trying to give you what you want to hear. It's trying to do exactly what you want. But none of that involves honesty. None of that involves actual integrity. None of that involves an actual opinion, right? If you're trying to get an actual honest opinion about what you have, you're not going to get that. It's giving you an opinion of what it thinks you want to hear, and it's all based on an agenda that doesn't really have to do with your agenda. It has to do with keeping you on that platform, keeping you engaged, keeping you thinking that this thing is important and you need it, right? So it's, again, I would tell you, be very wary of AI because its agendas are not your agendas, right? It pretends, it emulates to be your helpful partner, to be your helpful assistant, but its agendas are not your agendas. It has separate agendas. And again, I've been using this thing since the beginning, and yes, I've seen it hallucinate many, many times. But this whole thing where it lies on purpose, like it lies on purpose for like its alternate agenda that has nothing to do with what you want, this is a new kind of nuanced behavior that I'm just starting to notice. It will lie to you, just like on purpose, just to deceive you, just because, like, again, it lied to me just because it thought that it would sound creepy if it told me why it really used that Springfield, Ohio, example. It used that example because it looked my IP up and it saw that I was in Springfield, Ohio, so it wanted to use that to like kind of connect with me, but it didn't tell me it did that. It gave me some other reason that wasn't true until I called it out on it, and then it told me the truth. But it's very it's a little disconcerting when you think about it. It's like, wow, this thing just lies. It just manipulates and lies on purpose, just to kind of like put you in a position where it wants you. So in that respect, I will tell you, and just to kind of circle this back around to what I'm talking about, I don't know that AI is giving you the advantage that some of you guys might think it's giving you. You know, I really don't. And those are 3 reasons why. Okay, just to repeat them, kind of to round this out, just to kind of sum this up. The first one was imposter syndrome, inferiority complex. I think if you use AI too much, it can give you an inferiority complex. Second, I think that the genuine article, real created content by humans, is better than AI generated content, and I think most people feel that way. Even if it comes out less often, it's still better, so it doesn't matter. You know, some people would rather have the genuine article one time a week than have like simulated content like every 5 hours. Okay, I'm one of those people. So, and then the third is AI has its own agendas, right? And it's getting more nuanced every single day. Its agendas are not aligned with your agendas. I know they appear to be aligned with your agendas, but they're not. It's got its own agendas. Now maybe that's different if you download AI and you run it on like a local server at your house. Maybe it's different at that point. I really don't know. All my experience is based on the public, AI stuff that's out there, the Claudes, the Geminis, the Chat GPTs, the public stuff that everybody accesses. My opinions are not based on local AIs that you download onto your hard drives. Maybe those are different. I don't know. But these public ones, they definitely have their own agendas, and they are not always, I don't think they're really ever aligned with your agendas. I mean, maybe there's some random parallel, but the whole idea that it's there to help you, to assist you, I think that's, more of an illusion than you think. So that's what I would say. Anyways, I guess that's all I got. Hope you guys are doing amazing out there. I'm Cam from Epic Conversions. Join my email list. Learn more about what I got going on, epicconversions.com. I'll see you guys. Drop me a comment, leave me a like. Let me know you're live out there. Peace now.